today I just wanted to make this quick weekly performance review and also bring to your attention that it is not all the time, that you'll be getting full sun blast. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Today we got over 7,000 watts from our solar panel, so it's quite sunny today, but not that sunny. But from our PV calculations, we're supposed to hit 7,900, I think, 95 watts. That's what is required. Yeah, but we are getting about 7,065 watts. Again, some of the challenges I actually faced, and I think I've not mentioned this before, but some of the challenges you will face and that I faced as well, is that the when you size your panels, yeah. In our case, we said we needed, we selected, I think, a 550 watts panel, yeah. But when I went to the market, because of the shadiness and craftiness, or should I say, dubiousness of all these vendors or sellers, yeah, I was actually sold a 400 watts panel as a 550 watts panel. Yeah, they just removed the sticker for 550 watts panel and just placed it on a 400, I think 400 or 450 watt panel. So I wasn't really getting the actual power that I needed from my design calculation. So what I did was that I had to add more panels, yeah, to make up for that extra loss, yeah, from the non genuineness of the sellers, and this is a common thing that we experience in this part of the world, so one thing that you should be aware of when you're purchasing your panels, your solar panels, you should make sure that you get the ones that are genuine. Yeah, some of them have barcodes that you can scan to authenticate its genuinity. Yeah, so always buy from sellers that are genuine. Yeah, if possible, go with your installer because they know how to get they know how to recognize and identify genuine solar panels. Yeah, so go for panels. When you're buying your panels, buy from honest sellers. Yeah, buy from honest sellers because that's one thing you're going to face. So that's one thing you're going to face. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Yeah, so you know that. All right, so for the performance of this week, let's go to data. Yeah, something interesting happened this week, and I'm going to share that with you. Like, if you look at the top side of the bar, so if you look at the top side of this graph, yeah, the bottom side is showing you SOC, while the top side is showing you the different output plot, yeah, of the different energy sources. Yeah, the green one is showing you the battery performance, and the yellow line is actually showing you the solar radiation for that day. Yeah, so if you as you see from today, as early as say 7:30, 8 o'clock, we've already started having quite this 8 o'clock, and we already started producing 1.2 kilowatt. Yeah, what I want to bring to your attention is that not all days are like that. Yeah, so I'll start going back the days, yeah, uh, back 1 week, and then I'll show you what happens when the sun doesn't come out on time. Because there was one day in the week where the sun did not come out on time. It came out. We only had good because it was very cloudy. It was rainy, so we only got full power at midday. Yeah, and that's one of the things, again, when you're trying to cut cost and then you use half your battery size. Yeah, because my design was to provide battery backup for 24 hours, but I could not afford two batteries at a time, so I had to buy only one. Yeah, and this whole performance review is just to help you understand how I managed my usage so that that undersized battery would be sufficient for us all through the night. Yeah. So going back to, I'll just be moving both graphs so we can compare. So going back to yesterday, we got a good charge very early in the morning, 1.1 kilowatt at 8 o'clock as well, or 1.2 kilowatt at 8 o'clock as well. And the battery filled up very quickly. So if I go back again, right. Now this is the day where we had very poor sun, solar irradiation. That's poor sunlight. Yeah. So at about 10 o'clock or even 12 o'clock, our battery has not even started getting charged by the solar panels. There was just no sun that day. Days like these are what we factored into our calculations when we said we want a battery that is going to provide us electricity for one day, that's 24 hours. But we're using half a day, 12 hours, yeah, because we're only using one battery from our calculation, yeah. So things like this can happen. So if we go down to the SOC, we see that at 11:30 a.m. the battery went down to 65%, and then the BMS cut in to preserve the battery, and then the power got cut off, yeah. And then that was around 11 something, 11:35, and then about an hour later it kicked back in, yeah. I would say maybe about 30 minutes to an hour, yeah. It kicked back in when we started getting sun, and then the battery woke up again, yeah. When the charge went above 5%, then the battery woke up again, yeah. And then we were able to get 72% on that day because it was not just sun. So the point I'm trying to make is that you will experience days like this when you will not just get enough sun. But the calculation, that is why the design calculation is so important, yeah, because it helps to avoid days like this. In our calculation, we have one whole day of autonomy, one whole day in which we do not see the sun. We will still get electricity if we use 40 kilowatt hour battery, yeah, but we're only using 20 kilowatt hour battery. So things like this can happen if the sun doesn't come out uh, early enough. And if you look at the top of the graph here, we do not have, there was no grid power at all. So all these things contributed to us going out for about 30 minutes, the battery cutting out for about 30 minutes, and then came back on when it started getting some charge. Yeah. So although this system is designed, that's why all my designs are for complete off-grid living. Yeah. We do not rely on grid because where we live in Africa, the grid power is not just, most of the time it's not there. It's not reliable. Yeah. So we don't even depend on that. So um so that was what happened, and I just wanted to let you guys know that when you do your calculation and then your calculation says you require so amount of battery, it is to help prevent something like this. If I had two batteries for the full 40 kilowatt hour capacity, this would never have happened because the battery would have actually been able to provide power all through this day, even if we did not have sunlight. And that is why when I get my second battery, I'm going to also show to you guys how it is performing. Yeah, excellent. So let's move on. So this is the 12th of the 3rd, and this is the corresponding day. We had some grid, and we had some grid here and here, and our battery state of charge was really good. The 11th, we had good solar irradiation that day. On the 10th, also good solar irradiation came out quite early and very powerful. So that was really good. And then on the ninth again, same thing, good solar irradiation. We had some grid power. And yeah, that is it. So on the 8th, again, good solar irradiation, although on the 8th we came quite low. We came down to 8% on our SOC, but then it's but then at that around 8 10 past 8 in the morning, the sun started coming out and then it started charging. So excellent. So that's the report for this week, and I hope you have learned something new here. I hope you have learned how to what to expect when you're using half your battery capacity. Yeah, when you can only afford half your battery capacity, you have to put enough load management strategies in place to make that battery last the whole day. So I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.